Hello, so today I will show you how to make thousands of coins from the advertisement wheel in WolvesVille through automation. Before we begin, this is not an app or something you can click on and does the job for you. Rather, this is 9 lines of code that you will have to write down. You don't need any coding skills. You can copy-paste this code and work with it, but you need to watch till the end to see how it works. Also, there are timestamps in the description, so feel free to skip to where you need most. One more point to note down. I have made this code using Python in a Windows computer, so if you are using a Mac or mobile phone, this might not work for you, but I will show you how to make this code work in Mac or in your mobile phone at the end of this video. Okay, with that said, head over to your browser and type the word Python, then click on this link. Now head over to the Downloads tab and download Python. The latest Python is version 3.9. This code will crash with this version. Instead, scroll down till you find Python 3.7. Click on it, then download it. When you are installing, remember to click the Add to Path or this will not work. Also, I will be using the IDLE that comes with Python, but to make it easier for you, you can use PyCharm. Search PyCharm on your browser, then download it. Now let us begin the fun part of this video. Search for IDLE, open it, now click on File, then New. Now save this file with any name, but the extension should be .py or Python file extension. Now that our workspace is ready, one more thing is needed. You will also need an emulator to use as a phone. Any emulator will work. For the sake of this video, I will use BlueStacks emulator. This is a bit heavy emulator, and if you are using a slow computer, I will show you at the end of the video a way to mirror your phone to the computer without downloading BlueStacks. Open command prompt as administrator, then install the following modules. All commands are in the description. Copy-paste them. If you have the module, then it will say requirements satisfied. If you get an error, you need to install again Python, and don't forget to add Python to the path. This is very important. Please click Add Python to Path before commenting an error that occurred. Okay, now that you are done installing the modules, you are probably asking yourself how this will work, right? So what we need our bot to do is to click on this watch video button, then we want it to wait for some time to finish the advertisement timer, then we want it to go back to the wheel. Finally, we need this bot to click the spin button and wait for the spin animation to be over. Once it does all this for us, we want it to repeat the whole process for us again and again till we exhaust all the advertisements. The main thing this bot can do that the auto clicker apps cannot do is that this bot can find where this button is. The developers of this game were smart. They knew that the players can use auto clickers to click for them, so they made a feature where this button moves up and down. So you cannot use auto clickers, but this code will be able to find that button and click it. Let us say that this bot we are creating is an auto clicker, but a smart one. Now we need to import the libraries we installed before. Type import, then type the name of the library. This will import this libraries here. As you can see, I typed import PyAutoGUI as GUI because the word PyAutoGUI is long, so I made it short. Whenever I want to use it, I will just type GUI instead of PyAutoGUI. Now we want to create a small code that will send mouse clicks, especially a left click. We can use this code to click anywhere on our screen. Also, for those who know Python programming, I'm using the Win32 API library because it is faster than PyAutoGUI. For those of you who are new to coding, I will explain this in a bit. The def keyword is called a function, and it behaves like a container. It is used to contain our code, so whenever we want to use this code elsewhere, we don't have to retype this whole code. Instead, we can just call the container's name. This click function sets the mouse cursor position to X and Y values. This will be later used to fill the coordinates of the watch button. Then it holds the left click. Then it waits for 0.01 seconds or 100 milliseconds, then releases the mouse click. This creates a left click simulation for us. Now we can click anywhere on the screen. Now that we created a left click, that would be useless without it clicking on the watch video button. So, we need to find the position of this button. How do we find this button and click on it? To do this, open your IDLE shell, then import the same libraries as before, then type this, while true, time.sleep 0.5 seconds, then type GUI.position then a parenthesis. This code imports the PyAuto GUI library as GUI. Once it imports, we need it to show our mouse position every 500 millisecond. So, while true means this code will run infinitely, since the code returns a true value, the code waits half a second, then it prints out the position of our mouse. Let's see if it is working. As you can see, it works just fine. It prints out the position of our mouse. Right now the position of our mouse is on the watch video button. So all we have to do is copy these coordinates. You can stop the code by pressing Ctrl and C. Now let us comment out our coordinates. When using the hash sign, the line that follows will not be executed, so these lines are called comments. They are part of our code, but are not executed. So now that we have the X and Y coordinates of the button, we need to send clicks, but before we do that, I want to show you that this method will not work. As I said before, this button moves up and down. To demonstrate this, I will reload this spin wheel, and as you can see, the button has moved to different coordinates. So now if we send a click, the click just goes to the wrong place. So how do we resolve this? The solution to this problem is simple. If this button moves up and down all the time, then what we can do is, we can check for one pixel in this area for its color. Now we check if this pixel is the color of white. If it is not white color, then it means that pixel is not at the watch video button. So we check the next pixel on the screen, and we ask ourselves, is this pixel white? If the answer is no, then we go to the next pixel, and we ask ourselves, is this pixel white? If the answer is no, then we go to the next pixel and so on, till we reach here. When we reach here, the bot checks if it is white. Since this is white, it clicks on it. Well, that was the solution I came up with. If you have another idea on how to approach this, please leave a comment. Alright, so we need to change this solution into a code. At first, we need to find the most bottom pixel coordinates. You can type the same code that we typed before to find the coordinates. I will comment out these coordinates so as to remember later. Now let us create a function to store the code to this solution. Before I explain this code, let us try to run it and see if it works. And as you can see guys, our bot just clicked on the watch button. To confirm that this is working, I will try running the code again 3 times, and as you can see, all the trials were successful. Now let me tell you how this works. The def function is like a container that holds our lines of code. We give it a name, then store our code. Since we are going to press the watch video button multiple times, we need to store the code in containers so we can easily call them later without repeating our code too many times. Then I set a variable with the name coords. This variable stores our most bottom pixel coordinates, X and Y. Now I will teach you 2 things you might not know. The first one is that, on every screen, pixels start at 0, 0 from top. As you move down, the Y coordinates changes to positive, unlike how you were taught in school. In computers, as you move down, the positive numbers you get, also by moving on the right, the X coordinates add up more positive number. So when you are here, you will get coordinates that equal to 0 and the height of your screen. And when you are here, you will get coordinates that equal to the width of your screen and 0. But if you are here, you get the height and width of your screen. For example, my screen is 1920 by 1080, so when I move my mouse here it will be 1920-1 by 1080-1. This is used also when counting from a list in Python. For example, this coordinate will be counted as 0, then this one is 1, the one that follows will be 2, and so on. So we want our code to check each pixel, right? So we need to loop around each pixel, and to loop around, we use a for loop. So in this line, we want to repeat the code that is below this line for 1079, which is the height of my screen. Now to understand the next line, here is its English version. If the pixel is white, click on it, else, check the next pixel. That is it. This line of code says that if the color of this pixel in these coordinates is equal to white, then click on those coordinates, then break out of the loop. But if the pixel is not white, then we want to skip 10 pixels and check the 10 upper pixels. Since we are not breaking out of this, the code will loop around 1079 times. Then we call this function by typing its name. Every time this function's name is called, it will check for a white pixel on the screen to click on. To find what color the button is, just type GUI.display mouse position. This will display the mouse position and the color of pixel your mouse is on. The three numbers are the red, green, and blue color values. You can go to your browser and type RGB colors to know more about RGB colors. Now we set our first position, that is the 0 position, to 255. This is because the white button has its first, or its red value is 255, so this code checks the coordinates given. If the coordinates given has 255 value at its red position, then it clicks on it. If it doesn't have a white value, then it skips 10 pixels and checks the next upper pixel. Alright guys, now that we solved what normal auto clickers cannot do, let us see how to go back from the advertisement once you click on it. Now, most video advertisements from Google are between 5 seconds to 40 seconds. I usually get a 30-second advertisement every time. If you get a 5-second advertisement, then you are a lucky person. You can earn these coins faster than other people. If you get advertisements of 30 seconds, then this is normal. Most people get 30-second advertisements and we will work with 30-second advertisements in this video. But if you get an above 35 seconds advertisement, then you are an unlucky person because you have to wait for the longest before receiving any coins. Now let us say the advertisement was 30 seconds long, then how do we go back from it? To do this, our bot needs to click the back button or the X button. Now since the beginning of this video, you have been seeing this time.sleep code and you have already figured out that it is used to wait before the next code is executed. But what is new is this line of code, numpy.random.rand in 33 to 36. In simple, this code imports the numpy library, then it generates random numbers, not any numbers, but integer numbers that are between 33 to 36. But why are we doing this? This is because it prevents the game from detecting that you are using a bot to earn coins. Human beings are random, they click on screen immediately after the advertisement is over, or they might wait 2 more seconds or 3, you never know. But bots are not random, and they are easily detected. That is why on the game servers, this bot will act like a human being is clicking the advertisements. To show you how this works, go to the shell and import the time library and the numpy library. Now if we just type time.sleep then 2, the bot will wait 2 seconds. If we type time.sleep 5, then the bot waits for exactly 5 seconds. We don't want this, we want our bot to be waiting for random seconds. Now if we type, to show you how numpy random generator works, let us loop around this code. We use the while loop numpy.random.rand in 3 to 10, then it will give us a random number between 4 to 10, it gave us 7. Now let us try to loop around, so it generates as many random numbers as possible. Using the while loop, we wait for 500 milliseconds, then we tell our code to generate numbers between 4 to 10 randomly. As you can see, it generates random numbers between 4 to 10. So the next thing is, once it waits for the advertisement, we want it to click the back button to go back from the advertisement. To do this, we just search for the coordinates of this back button, then use our previously created function, click, then pass the X and Y coordinates of the back button. This will click the back button. Now after doing this, we will land on the spin one again. We want to wait for a small amount of time to load the spin button. Once it loads, we need to click on it. Now, this spin behaves like the watch video button. It also moves up and down. We don't have to write any code for this. We just use our previously created function, which searches for a white pixel on the screen, then clicks on it. After doing this, we need to wait for the spin animation to be over. The spin animation takes between 15 seconds to 17 seconds. Now we are done writing the code. Let us make a function or a container to store this code, and we give it a name rich overnight. This function stores this code for us. Next, we need our code to run infinitely. To do this, we loop the code using the while loop, then we call the isPressed function from our keyboard library and pass the argument q, then we say is equal to false. What this means is, as long as the letter Q is not pressed, let our code run infinitely. Once the letter Q is pressed, our code stops. This prevents from the code running forever. Now that our code is ready, let us run it and see if it works. As you can see, I am not touching the computer, this bot is running on its own. Also, I blurred the advertisement due to copyright strike issues. Now if you cannot write this code, then copy-paste it from the link in the description. It will take you to GitHub. Now change these coordinates to the bottom of your emulator screen. This coordinates right here. Just place your mouse at the bottom here. Then copy the coordinates. Then change this value to how long your advertisement runs. If it runs for 40 seconds, make it 42 to 44. If it runs for 60 seconds, make it 62 to 64 and so on. Next, change this value to the back button coordinates of your emulator. Lastly, according to your network connectivity, you can change this to less value if you have good internet speed. If you have slow internet speed, it is recommended to change it 8 to 11 seconds. This one as well, change it according to your connection. Else just leave the default values. This is how to use this code. If you cannot download an emulator, then go and search for a program called Screen Copy, link in the description, mirror your phone, and use it as an emulator. For Mac users, my Python code can run on your device, but the problem is, I'm not sure which emulator you will use in Mac. Try BlueStacks. If it does not work, use Screen Copy app to mirror your mobile device. I will make sure to create an app or software for those people who are having difficulties in doing this. Also, I know of even a simpler method. I will post it next week if this video reaches 20 likes. Well, guys, I want to say thank you for the recent 1000 subscriber milestone we hit. Till we meet again. Peace.